Welcome back. If you're new, this is a channel about mixed ascension arts. That's where we take the ascension arts, like the martial arts. They're so embedded in mystic. You know, it's Joe Rogan talking about that wham. It's talking about nirvana, moksha, all these huge words like God. That was powerful, man. And you know, in the end, you gotta separate the wheat from the chaff and know what's the hype and know what is the practice and how do we do it, basically. So that's what I do here, and I try to make it accessible. And I got a comment on my last video. I love it. It says, what's his name? Let me read you your name. And it's Domovoy commented, how high are you, bro? Lol. And you know, I love that because it's the assumption people would make then is that I'm maybe smoking or ingesting something to change myself. And actually right now, as I'm recording this video, I'm fasted. I have a 20-hour fast. I just did some yoga. I did it while blindfolded. I did it while naked. I did it while listening to these chakra cleanse videos, 20-minute video on YouTube, and when it was done, I was done. I had broken out a light sweat. But you're not gonna get the benefits that I'm having just from stretching. I'm doing something mental, which is why I'm moving now towards talking about prostration. It's part of something I called some good tools. And for what? For ascension, man. For getting to the same heights as your, say, chemical muse. There's another practice, I'll get into it. You know, because let's just face it, it's the new kid on the block. Mike Tyson came out. Hey, went down to Peru, did that, smoked that toad, it changed my life. Yeah, I see it. He's a completely new person. Some would say better. I don't, you know, like that's subjective. Is he better? It's up to him. It's his union. It's up to you. It's your union, man. So when you look at this picture of prostration, that's actually me on a yoga mat. And I don't have any particular preference for these Abrahamic lifestyle packages. So don't say like, oh, he's depicting a Muslim. Don't point out any group. This is me. I'm the one doing this. I am recommending to you stuff that has worked for me. But of course, you can take the example of the man doing it in the mosque. That's something you remember. But you can also make the example of somebody doing yoga, striking a child's pose. And you can learn from both of these. First, let's take the Muslim first. Let's get it out of the way. Symbolically, say you don't subscribe to Islam. Symbolically, maybe we do a Jordan Peterson. Yeah, we will, obviously he's a. Well, it's deeper than that. He's going down and prostrating while orienting himself towards his pilgrimage. Now, what is that? You know, he's orientating himself. You can do this. You don't have to be part of the lifestyle package. Everybody, you know, it breaks my heart to see these kids who get stuck in cross pressures, in these dilemmas where it's either the family group or it's the friends group, and you need both. But the family is just pulling you so hard, you don't get any friends. Isn't that heartbreaking when that happens? It's called cross pressure. It's very normal among people who want to integrate, but at the same time, they also want to please, say, parents from a different culture. But it doesn't have to be that. It could just be that they're from the same culture, but the parents are really old, or they're part of some group. And so you have to choose always between your family and your friends. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Anyways, you don't have to do that here, because that's why we're separating it, you know? We're separating it out of that and looking at its essence, which is to imbue a process with power. by taking a submissive posture to the idea that is to be acted on. You know, it's not easy to travel the world. You know, and some of these guys, they're gonna have to, he's gonna have to travel to Mecca, this Islam guy, right? So one of the things he does to ensure that is daily, he gets down and he bends towards Mecca to orient himself towards his pilgrimage. But that's a outside pilgrimage, and there's something to be said for the pilgrimage within. And it's not even a strange idea to Islam, you know? They say the inner battle for the soul is the most important. So of course there's an inner component of orientating yourself towards your pilgrimage in that direction, right? And it doesn't have to be a place outside of you. When I bend down, I'm orientating myself towards all kinds of things. Yeah. But it can also be a dominant posture, imbuing the energy to a desired outcome. In Hatha Yoga, we have the warrior's pose. That's a very dominant posture, right? It's a warrior's pose, and you're stretching and you're looking out to the tips of your fingers, aiming, taking aim with your sword, with your shield behind your back, just stabbing, right? That's a very dominant pose. And that's also something you can use. And I imbue energy to these chakras that I'm building inside of myself. So let's take the child's pose. That's like the chakra of the third eye. What goes into the third eye? Well, if you're gonna make an eye in place of an eye, it can be smart to be blindfolded while doing yoga, like I am. I also do it naked. I cover up the windows, of course. I don't wanna, but I do it for the sensuality of it and for getting more tactile, sensory, more sensuality, more hearing, spatial awareness, familiar environment. I'm in a familiar environment that's very small. I'm in my room, right? And I have a sense of my body position. And this is all important stuff if you're gonna do Hatha Yoga. If you strike a tree pose with your eyes closed, it's way harder, because the noise behind your eyes, they can destabilize your equilibrium. But once you get centered, once you feel it, it kind of calms it all down. And that makes it very powerful to clear out your sense of where you are positioned, your body position, your balance, right? Especially when blindfolded. Gives you a frame of reference, right? Which is important if you're going to create a new point of view. And the third eye it's not just yoga, it's the taking it in, it's the mindfulness of it, it's the motivation to do it, it's the action, it's the memory of the room so that you can see it with your eyes closed, the visualization, right? That's a super high practice. And then there's eyesight. You have a habit of eyesight, great. Maybe you can start to remember what your hand looks like. Maybe you can have your hand on a white wall, then close your eyes and see the after image and let it fuse to the positioning of your hand. Maybe there's eye movement, so you can't see anything, but you can track your hand with eye movement, and slowly and surely, because I've done this, you can build an eye in place of an eye and see and touch what no eye has ever seen before. Yeah, because that's opening the third eye, constructing a chakra, and intuition, and there's all kinds of stuff that goes into this. I guess let's use you as a bad example. I'm not saying that this is typical, but a guy is doing prostration and he just goes through the motions. He's not going to have any of these effects. This is done a way that's very particular, that's very faith-based, but it's also doing something to trigger that placebo, that chemical internal endogenous muse that makes anything possible. You have your heaven. You can get there. Anything is possible, but you gotta get that placebo. You gotta get that chemical endogenous muse, and you don't need any of these entheogens. Of course, I have to bow down to the plant maestros and maestras, right? To the Ebo, to the deliverance, to the gift of this experience. But it's not always you got it, but you always got yourself, man. You always got yourself, and so you have to be your best friend. You have to be your own best friend. Everybody's got an agenda. You better have one, or you're going to become part of somebody else's plan. And so we prostrate, and we orientate ourselves towards our inner, our sacred pilgrimage, our inner union. And we do it properly. Look, they say, well, I do that. I connect with God every time. And I was like, dude, have you any idea of the gravitas? If that was the truth, you couldn't do anything afterwards. You'd be like, shit, I need to sit down. Just went through a major experience here. Because I talk about being me, and I'm the one of the present. I take the full brunt of the time stream. It goes through me. It hits me with that power. Just look at my body. It starts to wrinkle up and die as the time stream just burns it in its fire. And I'm in the temple of the body, taking the full brunt of that power. I'm the one who is both experiencer and experience. So whether or not the body creates the experience, or there's a soul inside the body creating a experience of having a body, you have to say, being the experiencer and the experience, how can I live in such poverty? Why am I not in just walking into ultimate peak paradise reality? Because I am the experiencer, right? True, I am the experience. True, but still there's this poverty, and that's because of lack of union. But we have more. We have Rick of the past, the packer of bags. I go to the store. I forgot if I put my wallet in there. Oh, Rick of the past, I hope you did this. I hope you did right by me. And there it is, as a miracle. I opened my bag, I packed my wallet. This makes yoga possible in the morning, even though I have other routines and other responsibilities that I have to do. Without Rick from the past, these ascensions, they would be so difficult, because they would be unprepared. Even Batman can beat Superman with prep time. And then there's Rick of the future, he who is in paradise. Oh, tell me your secrets. And then there's the divine, there's the God, the eternity's experience, the paradoxical end and beginning, the great cycle of non-duality that people say they are seeking. Look, through meditation, you can become that for a moment, and you'll experience it, and you'll recognize something. And it's like, wow, in this state that I am, I'm just this soup. I am so much, and I am always that. But this thing that I am is so all-encompassing that I can't. It's when you're everything, there is nothing to compare yourself with, right? And so there's no telling where you begin and end. And because of that, it's indistinguishable from essentially being nothing. And it's like, shit, everything and nothing is the same. I've always been this. This is actually the status quo I was trying to get away from. I have everything here, but I can't change anything. I can't access paradise because I'm everything, and I don't even know where it begins and ends. I'm totally disorientated. And so there's a really good case for being the human, for being the person who is less than God. Because he has a legitimate way of at least distinguishing good from bad. And he can build paradise within himself. But in this state, I'm just soup and everything is done. It's been done infinite times already and I'm already doing it. I just can't tell because I'm so much. I gotta stop. I gotta reincarnate into something lesser. Because I need a point of reference, I need a point of view, I need a distinguisher. And it's Rick of the present, the learner of time, he in the temple of the body, the one who is both experiencer and experience. He has a chance through these ascending practices. So when you say you're connecting with that, I'm like, you gotta be lying, man. Because I did that, I need to take like a week break. It's like it's so like it's such a mind fuck because I was seeking that, you know, and then I became that. It's like, no, I'm always this. This is always right in front of me. This is the distortion in my perception. This is the vibrations and the noise and the static and the thing that I see when I close my eyes. It's always there. It's always hyperimposed on top of everything I see, and that's why I don't notice it. It was there already. And I'm already dead, I'm already alive, and I'm already eternal. There's nothing to be gained here. It's just this experience that I am now that actually has a chance. And if it fails, geez, oh man, and it's anyone's bet. The Buddhists and the Hindus might be right. It's not the weirdest thing in the world to see a divine being with an elephant head walk up to you anymore, because this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And your job is to sit down and visualize paradise. And if you don't know what to do, don't pretend you don't know what paradise is. You got yourself some really big, important key points on what needs to be in there, and you can prostrate towards that. That's some way to connect with your third eye. Shit, we're getting up on 20 minutes, guys. I know you don't like these 20-minute vids, man, because you're not watching them, and it's also a lot to get good pictures to show you in case you're not one of those who do the dishes or do chores while listening to me. Look, my videos, if they're gonna be good, if I'm gonna get to talk and just shoot and wing it, they're gotta be long. You gotta get an activity, man. You gotta do some dishes. And I'll try to upload some pictures, but those slides are just gonna get longer and longer as the videos get longer. Yeah.